We're moving out of the competitive mind into the creative mind. And if you want to know how to do that, check out my Monday Mindset training series. In the last video, I just taught a class on how to rise out of the competitive mind into the creative mind. Welcome, Jen and Travis and Christy. Welcome, Christy. Great to have you all here. So I'm going to do a quick screen share and show you all about our units. So if you're brand new to Knolly Success Coaching, this is where we help you master your inner game and your outer game in real estate. And Knolly and I are creating the #1 success mastery system for agents and entrepreneurs to succeed and thrive at all levels of life. And to get that process started, look at the units. Unit #1, unit #2, and unit #3 are your first order of business. If you're new to this face group, if you have not done unit #1, make sure you are doing unit #1, 2, and 3 if you're brand new to this group. Special note on unit #2, that's where Knolly in his generous heart, I love this man, he's given away his entire success with listings, calculators, toolkits, et cetera, et cetera. So check out unit #2 for you to get clear on success with listings. And then unit #3 is our accountability partner. And getting your accountability partner levels up your game in ways are so powerful. If you don't have accountability partner, reach out to someone in your network that's a fellow agent, or ask on the Facebook group. I have my accountability partner in Michigan, Sam, and it's been so awesome to work with Sam because we're just leveling each other up every Sunday. We're getting more stuff done in more powerful, productive ways with accountability partnerships. So these 3 units were masterfully designed by Knolly and I to help you gain leverage in your business right now, and to get more done with less, to achieve that state of ease and productivity and flow, like Knolly has so masterfully done in his business and is now going to share with us. Take it away.
All right. Thank you, Artemis. Thank you, Artemis. And you're getting things cracking too, huh, Artemis, in your business?
I am. Yeah. I just got my first client a few days ago. So celebrating that. And,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're here, guys. We are here to help you to really manifest everything that God has for you. And the purpose of Knolly Success Coaching is really to equip you for success, not only in business, but also in life, to equip you for success in business and in life, because you've got to be successful in both. And what I really wanted to share most importantly today is what I call manifesting your reality. Boy, I get excited when I start talking about manifesting your reality. Let me make sure I've got the right mic going. I do. And let's get into it. So I want to share a couple of stories with you guys about manifesting your reality. So the first one I want to share with you is myself when I was 18 years old. Okay. It's funny because I was on a Zoom call before this one, and we were talking about OGs, and I know what the OGs are, the original gangsters, because I used to be one, and I grew up in Los Angeles area. And when I was 18 years old, I decided, now here's the cool thing. Most of us have stories of manifesting our reality, okay? But here's what I think is happening to many of my students and people that I've been talking to, is that we're not manifesting our reality to the extent that we could or that we used to, maybe when we were younger. So when I was 13, boy, I used to dream big. I still do. Big imagination. And when I was 18, though, I got to a point where I was tired of the hustle and grind, the life that I was living. I moved away from home when I was 16 years old, got on my own, and I was hanging out with some knuckleheads at an apartment complex, and my car was parked out front. And, I've shared this story with you before. If you've heard it before, I want to share it again because I want to talk about manifesting your reality. What's real for you? You can bring that into existence in your own life. So I'm upstairs and I'm hanging out, and we hear this loud bang, a big old, just a loud crash. And so I'm like, man, what's going on? So, I wasn't in the crash, so I wasn't too alarmed about it. So I didn't really go out to see what was happening. But the kids in the apartment complex, ran over and they start banging on the door. All the kids knew me. I'm a hit with all the children. Artemis knows when I go to his house, they, Orion, his son is, for some reason, I'm a child. They can see I'm just a big old kid myself. So all the kids came up, they were like, Rubber Dub, Rubber Dub. That's why they all knew me. That was my name, back then. They call me Rubber Dub. They said, your car, your car. I said, what's wrong with my car? So I ran downstairs and I ran out, and there was my car pinned up against the front end of a drunk driver. He had just, I was parked, my car was parked, and then he saw fit to total my vehicle. Well, I had just prayed. I just prayed a few days earlier, maybe even the day earlier. I said, God, you got to do something, man. I need out of here. I need a way out. And sometimes when you pray those prayers of desperation, you don't think or you don't realize that the way that the Almighty will answer the call, a lot of times it's not the way that you think. Okay. And so I was like, man, this is not what I asked for. I didn't ask you to total my ride. I just asked you to help me out here. So it so happened that little by little, God was stripping me of everything that stood in the way of my success. You see, sometimes in order for you to manifest your reality, in order for the divine to get you to where you need to be, sometimes you got to clean up the closet. Sometimes you got to scrape away the dross. Sometimes you got to really get rid of what's there in order to realize something new. Okay, you got to get rid of what's there, and it looks really messy. It looks really messy sometimes. So I had lost so many things the weeks leading up to this. My car was really the only thing I could hold on to, and I just lost that. And so I'm searching to myself. And anytime something happens to you, I want you to write this down. Ask yourself, what's the lesson in this? What's the lesson in this? So there I was, 18. I said, what is the lesson in this? I don't have nothing. So the lesson was it's time to start from scratch. And there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Sometimes you got to blow up what you have because what you have is so tattered. I'm working with a property right now that's got a bad foundation. Okay. And if your foundation is bad, you sometimes you gotta go in and fix that foundation, don't you? So about a week later, my uncle shows up and we met. He was coming from Austin, Texas to LA to visit my mom. And he said, boy, you need to come to Texas. And I'm like, man, I'm not moving to no Texas. But I did move to Texas. And see, here's the thing. And I didn't even move to Texas. I had an overnight bag. I said, man, I'll go visit you for 3 weeks. And I'm going back home. I'm going back to Cali, boy, where I belong. Going back to Cali. I don't think so. Didn't happen. So I came here with an overnight bag, just about. And I've been here for, what's it been, 32 years? I never left. I never left. Well, when I got here, I had my tonsils removed. I've told you guys this story. And woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't breathe, couldn't breathe. Okay. And the blood was gushing down my throat. The sutures had just been closed. And something happened where they bust open in the middle of the night. And my uncle came in and he sat down with me and he said, boy, actually, I was beating on his door, woken him up, and he was like, what's going on? You dying? I said, yeah, I'm dying. And he said a prayer with me. It was a manifestation where he said, I want you to imagine that those sutures are closing up. Can you see it? I said, yeah, I see it. Now I want you to imagine. And he led me through this imagination exercise. Okay. It's about manifesting your desires. I had a desire to live. I didn't want to die. And I knew that if I let that thing go unchecked, I was dying. Okay. I was gagging under my own blood that was gushing down my throat. Okay. In the middle of the night, too late to get to the hospital. Okay. I wouldn't have made it. But right there, I imagined that this thing was healing right there. And it had an instantaneous healing, instantaneous. And I coughed up what looked like a giant blood clot. Okay. That's what I coughed up just a few minutes after that exercise. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, why is this important? Well, I found out right then and there. Now, this is something I actually found out earlier when I was 13 years old. Okay. And I've had several near death experiences, but I found out right then and there that if I believed it, I could receive it. If I believed it. And so people ask me all the time, Knolly, what am I missing? What am I missing? Here's what you're missing. If you don't have what you, if what you want in life is not showing up, let me tell you what you're missing. You don't believe. Okay. You don't believe. And a lot of people, I hear a lot of people say, man, I really believe. I do believe, but they really don't. Okay. So the word believe, as Jesus used it, is a Greek word. The Greek word is pistio. Pistio. Now, what that word means is to fully commit to or to fully rely on. Okay. The word pistio, the word in the Greek, means to fully commit to or to fully rely on. Now, in English, okay, in English, we've changed the meaning of the word believe. And the word believe has nothing to do with the original meaning of the word. So now we say, whenever you've made a mental ascension to a fact, that is to believe. Okay, that's a mental ascension to fact. That's not what scripture says believing is. Okay, believing is to fully commit to and to fully rely on. You need to write that down. Very important for you to write that down. Or I recommend you write that down. To fully commit to. So many people that say they believe have not fully committed to that thing in which they say they believe. Okay, believing is getting on the plane and flying to Austin. Believing is you know in your mind's eye. Okay, we call it imagination activation. It's an exercise that we do all the time. Okay, and most of this is stuff that I never used to teach. Now, let me give you another story. This is how Josie and I got our first house, our first rental home. Okay. Now, we knew we needed to rent a house. We were just getting married, and I wanted to have a house, a spiffy place for my new bride, so that when we moved in, we had our pad, right? And by the way, before I even share that story, let me tell you this. My uncle had me to write down all my goals when I was 18 years old. Okay, 18. And here's what I need you to know. By the time I was 25 years old, every single goal that I had ever written down was achieved by the time I was 25. When I was 25, I was like, man, I don't have nothing else to live for. I'm done. I'm good, So I had to write out all new goals. And that's happened over and over and over and over in my life, to where I've just had to write down new goals because I've accomplished all the goals that I've had set. That I've set forth. Okay. This is the same thing that can happen to anyone. And I would venture to say that if we just opened up the lines and let everybody speak, we all have our stories like this, incredible stories. Well, this next one, like I said, we needed to rent a place. And so, and the pressure was on me because we were getting married in a few weeks, and I needed to find a place that we could move into. We needed to rent a house. So we went to back then they called it the classifieds. I guess they still have them, newspapers. That's before the internet, by the way. We're talking about 1992, guys, before the internet. And so we saw this place. I mean, we looked at a bunch of different places here and there, and just nothing kind of could fit. And we wanted a house. We didn't want an apartment. So we saw this one. I said, man, that looks pretty promising. And I think the rent was like $385 a month or so, $400 a month, whatever it was. And so I said, that one right there looks promising. It looks like something we can afford. I said, let's check out. So we cut it out. Back then, you used to take your scissors. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. We took our scissors, or you would circle it, and you would take that classified with you. And so I cut it out. And I said, I think this might be it. And we had already looked at several, and I was frustrated. I said, man, ain't nothing happening. So we went in the gas station, pulled in to get gas. I took the classified ad and I threw it in the trash can right there at the gas station. Okay. And I drove off. Okay. So right when I'm driving off, I hear the Spirit of the Lord says, you need to go back and get that ad. I said, man, I already threw it away. He said, you need to go back and get it. I said, I'm not going to go back and get it and going up through no trash can. I don't play that. I'm not going to do that. He said, you need to go right now and go pick up that ad that you just threw away because I didn't tell you to throw it away. I was like, crap. So there I go, driving back in, rummaging through a trash can at the gas station to find a classified ad on a rental house, okay, that I had thrown away. So I get the thing, it's nasty as you can imagine. And so I found it. And then it had the address. So we found the address and we drove by. Well, when we drove by, there was a guy out there fixing on his car. And I told Josie, I said, no, I don't think this is the one. So as I start to drive off, okay, the guy comes out from his car and he says, he does start doing like this. I'm like, what's this dude want? He said, he started motioning to us. And so we rolled down the window. He said, yeah, come on in. You looking for the house? You thinking about renting this house? I said, well, we're thinking about it, but we're just driving around. He said, well, why don't you come take a look? I said, well, no, come on and take a look. So I said, oh crap. So we parked, we went in, we took a look, fell in love. We knew that that was the place that God had for us. Okay. This is manifesting your reality, guys. And sometimes I know it gets tough. You feel like you're at the end of the line. You feel like, man, I done tried everything. I'm done. I'm just gonna throw it away. No. Go get that out the trash can. Wipe it off, clean it up a little bit, and go do what you're supposed to be doing. Go do it. The last story I just want to share, I was thinking about this morning, and I really only wanted to share one story, but I had a couple I wanted to share. Was this friend of mine, we were hanging out in my office, and I had this tiny little desk. That's all I could afford. Tiny little desk. And I'm telling him, like I always do, people know I'm a dreamer. They say, man, there go Knolly again, dreaming big. There he is. And to me, everybody thought it was a joke. Like I was like I was like the joke of the party because I'm always dreaming. Man, this boy want to be a rapper. He's dreaming about being a rapper. He's dreaming about having a record label. He's dreaming about whatever. So at this time, I said, man, and we sitting down in front of this little old desk in my office, okay? And he's on one side and I'm on the other side. And he said, and I said, he says, man, what's going on? I said, well, man, I said, I just got to thinking, man. I said, I want a new desk. He said, well, what kind of desk do you want? I said, I want a big desk. I said, I want a desk so big. And I started describing this desk to him. He just started laughing. I mean, he just was uncontrollable laughter. Like, I was like, man, what did I say? Was it that funny? I mean, he just laughed and laughed and laughed. As hard as he could by me describing this desk. Okay. Well, it wasn't 2 or 3 days later, I looked in, okay, you guessed it, the classifieds. And there is an ad for, now, mind you, I couldn't afford it. I just wanted it. By the way, you affording it has nothing to do with anything. Nobody asked nobody asked you to check your bank account on that, no. So I went in to the classifieds and I saw this ad. Here's what it said: moving, bank relocation, moving, executive banker desks must go. Both desks, $45 for each. Okay, so the 2 desks, 2 for $90. I was like, man, I got $90. So I said, well, let me go check this out. So I went out and I checked out, and I got to tell you, 2 of the most beautiful, pristine desks that you've ever seen. I'm talking about burl wood topping on it. Okay, I mean the wood on it. These were banker desks that were at a bank. Okay, and the only reason they even put them in the paper is because they didn't want to move them. They did not want to move. These things were heavy. And so I said, you know what? I got a buddy of mine had a truck. I paid him for those desks. We moved those bad boys. And I'm trying to tell you, it wasn't a couple of months later, I have my friend back into my office, and he's sitting on the other side of my desk, and he's looking like this. Man, you got it. You got it. He wasn't laughing now. He wasn't laughing. That desk was at least 5 feet. I think about 5.5 feet wide. Okay. Like an airplane hangar. And see, here's the thing. There is something that God has equipped the Homo sapiens with, and that is the imagination. When you believe it, you can receive it. Look, the same God, look at this. Josie just picked these this morning from her backyard, from our backyard. Okay, this is the kind of stuff she grows back out of there. Look at these things. Okay, don't you think a God that you serve that can grow something like this could get you anything you want? Okay, anything that you want and desire can be achieved. Anything. Now, y'all like those lilies? Yeah, they're nice, huh? We were hoping they would open up for Easter, but they opened it up a little bit late. But that's all right. Uncle Knolly ain't mad at you. You're doing your job. Just keep it up. So I want to share something real quick, um, and I want to share with you a couple of slides that I created just to kind of cement. Hopefully, that's been good. I just want to share. A lot of times, these stories are really, really. When I, th- That's just the way I think is in stories because God has been so good, and I know He's been good to you. Go back and look at some stories in your own life. Okay, you know, Artemis Prime just talked about gratitude, how gratitude, looking at these stories back in our life is so important to cultivate that gratitude and realize, man, God, you did it. You could do it again. Yes, you can. All right, so let me share my screen because I want to show you a couple things. First, I want to let you guys know that for sure we've got this, guys. It's Knolly Success Coaching. Now, if you found your way here because you were invited and you're not part of Knolly Success Coaching, you need to be a part, or I highly recommend you become a part of this. It's absolutely free. We provide business and life coaching to help you succeed to your ultimate greatness. So when we came up with the idea, Artemis and I, we had the weekly group coaching call, members only private Facebook group, a library of coaching trainings, exclusive accountability partner. So important that you team up with somebody. Um, Live event training series. We originally were thinking, man, we're going to charge for this, maybe 400 a month. Nah, maybe $100 a month. Surely it's worth that. Okay. But we said, the Holy Spirit put it on our heart to do it absolutely free. It's Christ centered. All are welcome. All are welcome. And it's Knolly Success Coaching. So make sure that if you're not a part of this, just go to knolly.com and join today. Join today, knolly.com. So manifesting your reality. What is it? What is it all about? And how do we get it? Right. So that's what I want to talk about, or I want to finish talking about. And here's a couple of things I want to throw out there just for you to jot down or just to think about for this week. Okay. This is what I want you to think about for this week. How can I manifest my reality? How can I make my dreams come true? Okay. First of all, you've got to know what you desire and require. You've got to know what you desire and require. So many of the students that come to me before they start, as they start coaching with me, as they're into their coaching, they just don't know what it is that they desire. They don't know what they want. And I talk about this in my book, Success with Listings. In chapter 3, I have this whole sort of this tirade that I go into about what is it that you want. And that came from a buddy of mine. We were hanging out and he was telling me everything, everything that was wrong with his job. He was like, man, this is wrong with my job. This is wrong with my life. This is wrong with this. This is wrong with that. So I just turned to him. I said, hey, man, what do you want? And he just, for the first time, I mean, we had been chatting there for quite a while. And for the first time, he just got silent. I said, well, what do you want? And that's about how it was. I was like, look at this. This guy can go 10 minutes straight telling me everything that's wrong in his life and everything he doesn't want. But when I ask him a simple question, man, what do you want? He is silent. He doesn't know. He only knows what he doesn't want. He only knows what he doesn't desire. And that's why I tell people you have to know what you desire and require. How is the universe going to deliver for you what you desire and require if you don't ask for it? How are you going to ask for it if you don't know what it is that you desire? Okay. So then you have to ask for what you desire and require. So first you have to know what it is that you desire and require, and then you have to ask for it. I used to always think, man, why I got to ask for it? God, you know what I want. Got to ask for it. Is that crazy or what? Well, here's what I've learned. The Almighty will not violate your will. Okay. So you have to ask, you have to put your order in. You don't just walk into a restaurant and sit down. They come over, they're like, man, what do you want? And you just look at them. They're supposed to read your mind? No, it doesn't work that way. You have to order. You have to place your order. Okay. When you place your order, you will get served. All right. Believe. Now, this is very important. I highly recommend you write this down and commit it to memory. You have to believe and do not doubt. Okay. You have to believe and do not doubt, because when you doubt, okay, that is an automatic delete. That's the delete button. Doubt is the delete button to getting what you say you want. Okay. Doubt is the delete button. It's just like if you highlighted the document and deleted it. So everything you were believing for is immediately, it just gets erased. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get it back. Okay. But it starts to move away from you. Okay. In his book, or in his training series, Your Wish is Your Command, I love how Kevin Trudeau talks about how when you're manifesting your desires, okay, it's really like a radar. Just imagine, just pretend with me a little bit that that's in the middle. It's not, but just pretend, just play with me here. So let's just say that this is your world right here in the middle, okay? And this is all that you can see. This is all that you can know, okay? But look at here. You've got about 3 or 4 or 5 business deals. Let's say you got 5 business deals. And little by little, those 5 business deals are coming into your world. But see, just like a radar, radars only go so far. If you're on a submarine and you're looking at the radar, you can't see the entire world. If you're in Jamaica, you might not be able to see your radar screen may not reach to China. Okay. So you only, just like every single person listening to me right now, your radar only covers a certain amount of area. And you know what your radar is? What's around you, your bank account. I come to you, I say, hey, we're going to get that new house. And you believe for that new house, then the first thing you do, you go look at your bank account. That's not what I asked you. I didn't see, you're looking at your radar screen. What God has for you is off your radar screen. It's not on your radar screen. It's coming into view, and eventually, and have you ever had it where something just showed up and you say, man, that just showed up out of nowhere? Let me tell you something. It didn't show up out of nowhere. Okay. It did not show up out of nowhere. It's been coming to you for weeks, maybe even months, maybe even years. It's been on its way to you. Okay. It's been on its way. So those 5 deals that you got coming your way, guess what? You're not going to see them until they're in the middle of your radar screen, but they're still coming. Nevertheless, they're on the way. Okay. They might be 2 or 3 months out. No problem, but they're still on the way. Okay. And so what happens, thanks. Josie, I'm getting little parts here. Thank you, Pete. So what happens is when you start to doubt, okay, this is what Kevin Trudeau talks about in Your Wish is Your Command. When you start to doubt, all of a sudden, those 5 deals, as they start coming closer, they start moving away. They start moving back away from you. Why? Because doubt is just pushing away what you say you want. When you don't believe, you're just pushing that stuff further away. Very, very important lesson here. All right. So believe and do not doubt. Now, look at this. Realize that the quantum field is not bound to time. So a lot of times you and I will get frustrated. We're like, man, it's not happening. It's not happening. I'm just going to give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing. Keep going. Okay. The road to success is paved one failure after another. That's how you get to success. I love this quote by Joseph Murphy. He says, faith is accepting as true what your reason and senses deny. Ooh, now we know Scripture says, faith is the evidence of things hoped for, or faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Okay. And actually, when you look at when Paul said that, faith is the substance, that's a chemistry term that he used. It was a modern chemistry term. And the evidence of things not seen, the word evidence is actually a legal term. Okay. So Paul is saying that faith is real. It's not just something euphoric. Okay. He gave it he gave it scientific and legal proof in that sentence. Okay. And Joseph Murphy says faith is accepting as true what your reason and senses deny. I want to share with you about Nick Sirachunchin. Okay. He's one of our mentorship masters. And here's what he's told me this week. This is a text that just came in about 3 days ago. He said, let's do it. This will be great. Went from 40K in debt, moving back close to where I moved away from, to closing 85K GCI, all closing from 430 to 525. I said, that's amazing, bro. He said, showing a golf course today and listing a condo at the end of the week. And I just told him, I said, man, you are in the zone, brother. You are in the zone. So here's Nick. Okay. When Nick came to me, Nick came to me in November of last year. Okay. He had no deals going on. Artemis, you know about this. He had nothing going on, no deals on the books, no closings in the future. I said, man, can you see a closing? I can't see nothing, Knolly. So finally, what Nick decided to do was move to Seattle. Okay. All right. We know Seattle just got, did Seattle get slammed? Yeah, they just got slammed with COVID. Okay. But what is Nick doing? Nick, even though he moved to a new area, yeah, he moved back to his hometown, but he had moved away so long ago, he didn't really know anybody anymore. So he moved to a new town. And when he joined me, he didn't have anything on the books in November. He didn't have anything on the books in December. He didn't have anything on the books in January. He was barely maybe seeing something in February. But guess what Nick just did? He just collected $85,000 in commission in 25 days. Okay. So he went from being 40,000 in debt to a positive 45,000. Now, how did he do it? Well, I got to tell you, he started. I remember when Nick called me, it was earlier this year, and he said, Knolly, he said, man, how do I get myself? I know that you teach that we're supposed to do the two, but I just can't do it. I said, what you mean you can't do it? He said, well, I go into my lead generation bunker, but man, I just get bored. I just, and Artemis knows this about me. I can't get, I'm a steal. So I'm hard to sympathize with stuff like that. I'm like, so I just beat him up, you know? And so I talked to Artemis about it. He said, Artemis says, man, that's not what he needs, man. I said, what do you mean? I said, man, I just kick his ass, you know? And Artemis says, no, that's not it, man. You're letting the steel come out of you. I said, well, what, I mean, you know, you need money. Why wouldn't you do the work? So Artemis got a hold of him. Okay. And Artemis taught him a lot of the stuff that we're teaching you guys. And he started to believe, he started to manifest. And here's the conversation I had with Nick. This is the reason why I'm going to interview him next week. And I'll share that interview with you guys. But here's a conversation I had with him. I said, Nick, you're doing your lead generation, aren't you? He said, man, I'm doing my lead generation every single day. I said, now here's a funny thing about it. I said, isn't it true? Just tell me if it's not true that the things that you're doing are not necessarily leading to the deals that you're getting. Is that true or not? He said, man, that's exactly true. I said, so you might spend 2 hours doing this, but the deal comes from over here, doesn't it? He said, yeah, that's exactly what is happening. Okay. I said, that's because the universe is not linear. Write that down. Okay. See, you and I think that the universe is linear. The universe is non-linear. Okay. We don't live in a linear universe. Okay. Dr. Hawkins talks about this in his book, Letting Go. Okay. So what you have to understand is when you do the work, you're rewarded. Okay. When you do the work, you're rewarded. Your reward is not necessarily going to come from where you think it's going to come. Okay. So, but you still have to do the work. If you want the results, you've got to do the work. If you want the harvest, you got to plant the seed. Okay. You got to plant the seed. And anyway, I hope that's been helpful for you guys. I wanted to share one other thing real quick. Thank you, Pete. Oh, I got a good old elixir here, y'all. This is one of those Artemis recipes right here. So I got to tell you, I don't know what you did to that boy, Artemis, but you got Nick, boy. You got him in, man. He's producing, man. This kid, I'm telling you, $100,000 almost. I'm just gonna claim him for 100 grand in 30 days.
Yeah,
$100,000 coming in 30 days. That's big.
yeah, yeah. Nick and I
I don't.
work.
I can't remember the last time I did that. But
Yeah,
I
we
want to
worked
share
together
something real
for.
quick.
Go
You
ahead.
almost ready to take it over, huh, Artemis?
Well, I was just going to share about Nick because, sometimes we have the seed, which is prayer, visualization, imagination. We plant the seed and then we start doing the two. And then we want to pull the seed up 2 weeks later and say, why isn't it sprouting? Well, the work I did with Nick was over 90 days. And I said, Nick, master the 5 rhythms, keep doing the two and focus on on watering that seed. And
And tell me the
as
truth. Nick didn't want to do it, did he?
not in the beginning because he was overwhelmed. And so unit number 1 is such an important part of everyone's growth. And you got to be able to focus to succeed. And so I put Nick's attention on his inner game. I gave him a flow consultation. I introduced him to Feel Free to Prosper. I had him start doing the inner work that Marilyn teaches here. And then I started helping him remove all the blocks in the way. But really it was putting attention on God as his source and then doing the flow consultation, learning where his flow is, and then making sure that as he was doing the 2 hours of Legion a day, he was leaning into his zone of genius every other hour of the day. And here we are 4 months later, and all that germination, visualization, affirmation, declaration, meditation, these principles we learn in scripture, all that germination is now sprouting. So I just texted him. I was like, way to go for all your deals. Keep doing the work. You don't like rest on your laurels. You just keep practicing the principles until they become so much a part of you that you become like a Jedi manifester in real estate. And he's starting to see the results of the seeds he planted last November. It took 3 months of daily work and weekly work. And all I was doing was just holding him accountable, but I was also giving him the right information in the right order too, to succeed.
Yeah, and that hey, it's just a delayed paycheck, right? But think about it. Even though for those 90 days, because he was frustrated, man, he was at his wit's end. And I got to tell you about Nick. He's not the type of dude that feels a feel good about reading stuff like this. Feel free to prosper. To him, this is like foo foo woo woo stuff. But I told him, and this is a reason why you've seen me. You guys that have followed me for 5, 6, 7 years, you've seen how my training has changed because I used to just teach you how to. Okay, first you do that, then you pick up the phone and use that script. Look, I got to tell you guys, I've discovered a whole new game, a whole new way of succeeding that doesn't require a lot of the garbage that we used to teach people. Okay. And books like this that Nick read and his coaching with Artemis and what I was able to share with him, really it's, we applaud Nick because he's the one that did the work. Okay. We just pointed him in the right direction. With that, Artemis Prime, you ready, baby? You ready? You ready to hit it? I know you probably got about 30 minutes of material yourself, huh? If you're not ready, I can keep going. You're muted.
For those of you who need to get up and stretch, get up, stretch, grab some water, grab some tea, grab some coffee, like whatever your favorite beverage of choice is. Because I want to share something that's very complementary to this. And Knolly and I are committed to your success and victory in your business. And that's why we created this Facebook group. We're so excited that you're all here. And there was one question from Christy. She mentioned, I find myself blocking God out when he tells me what I need to do, which causes me to miss out on many of the things in my life. And I just want to address that question. And the answer to that question, Christy, is meditation. That wherever you are in vibration and belief, what we are required to do is to meditate on scripture, on sacred text, on our hearts, breathe, get still, and just meditate. Just be in a meditation practice every day so you can clean the vibrational slate, and in the silence, you will hear your instruction. But some of us are so busy, confusing activity with accomplishment that we're not silent enough to hear our instruction from Great Spirit, from the Supreme Being. And so a daily meditation practice is essential to success beyond the hustle and the grind. And, before this call, I was sitting outside in the grass and I was doing sacred breath work taught to me by my yoga teachers. And breath is how you clean the mind. So everyone just take a deep breath in. And remember, relaxation is your natural state. Stress is reactive response. So when we breathe, and when we learn how to breathe into the 3 breathing spaces of the body, I'm going to be doing some videos on this, we can clean the mind. Power in the breath equals power in the mind. Power in the mind translates to power in the vision, in their capacity to start to connect to the quantum field, connect to divine mind, connect to the supreme being. And in that state, Christia, breath, meditation, stillness, for the next 30 days. I'm not talking about do it tomorrow. I'm talking about start a meditation practice and just touch your heart for 10 minutes. Drop your attention down to the center of your heart. Now, it's so funny. One of my clients, Liz Delia Gerber, the wife of Michael Gerber, just texted me about the heart and her doing the heart meditation as I'm talking about it right now. That's how connected we all are. I just got a text as what I'm sharing with you to one of my clients who's experiencing miracles in her life by breathing, connecting, and praying in a way that works. And to believe is to be relaxed. Remember that. To be relaxed is to be in flow and doing what you love in your business joyfully, having fun again in your business. So what I want to talk about today, and go grab some water, hydrate, because this is really profound stuff that I'm about to share with you that I've never shared before on a webinar. It's the first time. I have it on a video, on my artemisprime.com, but I want to go through it today with all of you in your business so we can reinforce some of these principles of connecting to divine intelligence, accessing the quantum field, building belief, connecting to your purpose in your business. This is like really, really powerful stuff that we can achieve with the right system, mentor, and community. And remember, a lot of our changes starts with a mentor. Knolly's been mentoring me for 4.5 years. I've been mentoring him in health and spiritual laws of creation. And one of the things that really made a big difference for me was this man, one of my great mentors. His name is Roger Hamilton. And I'm going to go to full screen here. And on July 20th, can everyone see my screen? Can you see this, Knolly?
Yeah, we can see. It's good.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to full screen here. Here we go. So on July 20th, 2019, it was the day my life was turned upside down and changed for the better. And this is a time in my life where I was successful to a certain degree, but I wasn't happy with where I was going in my business. And I needed to take a strong, sincere look at myself and understand, what do I need to change in me to help me grow in my business? And Roger introduced me to a system called Wealth Dynamics, a revolutionary new language for entrepreneurs to eliminate burnout, overwhelm, while improving their productivity, flow, and fun in their business. And for those of you who are practicing digital hygiene, that's the first step for a lot of us, is to clear out the noise and the clutter in our lives so we can get into flow, so that we can learn what we need to learn from Knolly and Artemis. And that's why we put unit number 1 in the Facebook group about cleaning out your digital life so you can pay attention. And then from that foundation of being able to focus, you can get into flow. So before we get into Wealth Dynamics, I'm here to help you overcome the many challenges you face in your business with 3 questions taught in ancient Greece over 2,000 years ago. And these 3 questions are found inside the trivium. And the trivium is Latin for the place where 3 roads meet. And every one of these roads is a state of consciousness in your business. It's a state of awareness. And the first road is self-awareness. The second is self-mastery. And the third is self-expression. So self-awareness is connected to your personal brand in real estate. Who are you? Why do you serve? And how do you provide exceptional value? That self-awareness expressed through your real estate business brings your personal brand. And then as you start to become successful, then you become masterful over the activities that Knolly's teaching us in Success with Listings. and you start to sell more products, more houses.
Hey,
More deals
Artemis,
start flowing in. Yeah.
can you put that in presenter mode so we could put, because right now we see the slides on the
Oh, I apologize.
hit present. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. I had it
Okay,
wrong.
good. Thanks.
And so self-awareness builds to self-mastery. Self-mastery builds to self-expression. Self-expression is when you start to become so successful, 7 figures and beyond, that you start building fruits, and those fruits get planted and start creating trees in the orchard of success. So many of us don't really get past self-awareness in our business. And self-awareness is where we should all start. Who am I? So sometimes just a few questions can change the trajectory of our life and business, moving us from failure to flow and success. And think about, what are those questions for you right now in your business? Knolly asked a question to you today. Do you believe? Do you believe that you can succeed? So everyone take another deep breath in here. Touch your heart. Drop down to the center of your chest. Place your right hand on your heart. And take a deep breath into your lower lungs. And now exhale fully. Inhale into your lower lung. Inhale into your middle lung. And exhale again. Inhale into your lower lung. Inhale into your middle lung. And now inhale into your upper lungs. And slow eternal exhale. Flow comes from relaxation and ease and breath. Inhale into your lower lung. Inhale into your middle lung. Inhale into your upper lung. And slow eternal exhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Feel your lower back relax. Relax your neck and shoulders. Inhale into your lower lung. Inhale into your middle lung. Inhale into your upper lung and hold. And slow eternal exhale. Some of the most important questions we can ask in our business is, who am I? Why am I here? And where am I going in my business? Who am I? Why am I here doing real estate? Who do I serve? Why am I serving them? What makes me different? Why am I here? And where am I going? What is my goal? What do I desire and require to succeed? And the answers to these questions are mystical answers. The understanding of mystical laws of creation help you get answers to these mystical questions. That's why we study books like the Bible or the Tao Te Ching, or all ancient texts that speak universal truths. And when Knolly and I quote the Bible, it's not religion, guys. It's a book of law. It's a book of universal laws given to us by God through prophets. And there are many, many ways we can access these laws in our breath, in the silence, in the connection to our hearts. Why am I here? Where am I going? Before you can answer questions number 2 or 3, the most important question to answer first is, who am I? What is my unique genius? What gives me that feeling of flow? And what is my flow in business? How do I stay in flow? What parts of my business and life give me the most joy, and what things should I avoid doing and get help with or hire out? Where is my greatest leverage? One of the easiest ways to build our belief in ourselves is to stay in flow and to stop trying doing everything in our business model. You don't have to do everything in your real estate business. You do what you're strong at, and you hire out the weaknesses, or you get help from a mentor and a community and a system, just like we have here at Knolly Success Coaching. So what is flow in your business? Flow is a state of being in your business where your sense of self vanishes, action and awareness merge, and you are living and working with the space of timeless focus and infinite energy. Flow is uniting with spirit and becoming universal power in action to know yourself, to know who you really are, aligned with your deepest purpose on the path of least resistance. And as you start learning who you are and your strengths and avoiding your weaknesses, you start to get more connected with that belief and also your purpose. Some of us watching this right now have no clue what our purpose is, and that's okay. I didn't know what my purpose was a year ago until I met Roger Hamilton. And then I realized, holy shit, I'm a leader in the conscious entrepreneur movement. I'm Austin's premier conscious real estate agent, helping people empower their home, their health, their finance, and their freedom. And I can take my consciousness and I can bring it into the real estate world and community. And I can bring more of that to all of us and to all of my buyers and sellers. And so it's okay if you don't know your purpose. It's okay if you don't know why you're here. It's okay if you've been a hustle. Getting into flow, connecting to what is natural in you will help reveal that purpose, will help raise that belief, and it will help connect you to spirit and to universal power. The question is, how do we stay there? So let's look at another question. How do we maintain these peak states of high performance and flow more often, culminating into more success, sales, and conscious leadership for our business? Self-awareness comes before self-mastery. Before you can lead others in a team, you need to learn how to lead yourself and stay in flow. Is all this even possible for entrepreneurs and agents and those of us leading a business? Yes, it is, because you have a unique genius. I love this image of a water drop because in Eastern philosophy, spirit is represented by the water element, both physical water and spiritual water. And that water drop is that life force of spirit flowing through your mind and thoughts, words, and actions. That water drop is the Holy Spirit, the holy waters flowing through your actions and your deeds. When you're in flow, when you're leading from your zone of genius, you have access to this spiritual element that I'm talking about today. There is an existing flow looking for your genius in the marketplaces. Wherever you are in your real estate business, you have a quality, you have a unique design that the marketplace is looking for, and the buyers and the sellers and the teams that you will join with is looking for this, but it's not intuitive because we're not born knowing our flow. We seek it sometimes blindly until we find a mentor, a system, and a community to help us understand it. And that's the greatest joke that I see from God, is that he gives us all the power of creation within a certain zone of genius, but doesn't tell us what it is or how to use it. And that's part of the life on earth. That's part of growing and evolving spiritually on this planet, is to learn through polarity, to learn through opposites, to learn through resistance, to learn through challenges. And when you learn, and when you choose, all you have to do is choose to show up in your zone of genius combined with a clear vision. When you learn your zone of genius and you stay in flow the majority of your days, then ease and fun and joy show up. Doing what you love in your real estate business is doing what is natural to you. Then a problem shows up. Suddenly something happens along the way when we start to attain a little success and flow in our business, and something shows up. What is this problem? We start to confuse activity with accomplishment. We become successful, we follow, we get 10, 20, 30, 50 deals under about 100 deals, 150, 500, but somewhere along the way, we get in a hustle and we believe we have to do everything or master everything in business. And then we end up just doing the right things in the wrong order, trying to succeed, getting to our next level. This problem may be because of a hidden lack of self-awareness, or we're missing that deep internal compass, that inner awareness telling us what to say no to so that we stay in flow. For many of us watching, success at a certain point of our business is not what we're saying yes to. Success starts becoming what we say no to. And that's also not intuitive, which is why we need a mentor, a system, and a community to follow, to rise up the ladder of success, the Wealth Lighthouse. The main reason for confusing activity with accomplishment is threefold. 1 is distraction, 2 is overwhelm, and 3 is a low level of self-awareness, not knowing your strengths and not staying in your zone of genius. And one more thing, guys, why'd I put Yoda up here? Not having the right mentor at the right time. Every great student, when he hit that dark place in his growth, a mentor showed up, a teacher. For Luke Skywalker, it was Yoda. And Knolly and I are that mentor for you. Sometimes you just need the right teacher at the right time to show you, this is who you are. This is how you serve. These are the systems you'll follow in success with listings. And the system is just as much as important as self-awareness. A mentor, a system, and a community are three essential pillars that will get us to wherever we want to go in real estate and beyond. The right mentor at the right time. There's a major universal block to flow and freedom in our business and our economy today. And that's because flow is sometimes elusive because of distraction and overwhelm and technology. Sometimes technology becomes a big problem, a roadblock, because we're letting it control us and it's getting us out of flow. That's why Knolly says do the 2 hours of lead gen every day. Get into that flow of lead generation for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. And then you'll start to see things showing up because you're starting to do the 2. Sometimes we just continue pushing forward blindly in our business, hoping that it will all work out someday. And yet we're stuck in the hustle and the grind, not knowing, not having that inner compass, not knowing the right activities in the right order to succeed. And there is a way out of all this confusion. And that's why I'm here on the Knolly Success Coaching team. That's why I joined the Knolly team. That's why we're doing all this with you. And it's a clear path of self-awareness that leads to flow and fulfillment in all of our efforts. And it's called wealth dynamics. It's a new understanding for getting into flow and building your business around you, your zone of genius, aligned with your deepest purpose, and staying there. So Knolly, tell us about your experience with wealth dynamics last year after you left the 2-day class with our master trainer, Trey. Like, what happened when you learned your profile?
Well, even before that, when I first started studying wealth dynamics, I found that it's the one system that I've ever learned where I actually ended up doing less. So immediately I started clearing a lot of stuff off my plate. And then when we did the one with Trey, I mean, it just gave me a lot of inner clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of my coaching students have problems focusing, like focusing on one thing, then they're doing another thing 3 weeks later. And I've been pretty good at focusing, but I've gotten new clarity to focus on exactly what it is that I'm supposed to be focusing on. And for me, it's really knowing what to say no to. So on that chart that you showed, I'm a steel lord. And just knowing that, even though I teach disc, uh, but just knowing this is like disc on steroids. It's a whole new stratosphere. So it basically simplifies your life. We talked about that last week, simplify your life. And this system does that.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a brief overview of how it does that as I pull up my technology here again. Uh-oh.
And this is part, guys, of what we're going to be bringing you over time, here. I mean, because really the backbone of what we teach has to do with wealth dynamics, because everybody's in a different place. And that's a little bit of the difficulty, right, Artemis, in teaching a group where some of you guys are doing 300 deals a year. Some of you guys are brand new in the business. Some of you guys are in different industries. So it's a little bit challenging. So what we want to do is give you the overarching. But see, this wealth dynamics, there's what's he got, 1 million entrepreneurs in that group?
Yeah, there's 1 million entrepreneurs in this conscious entrepreneur movement, but most of them are actually in Europe and Asia, and it hasn't landed in America yet because the Americans weren't ready for it. We were just all focused on money and capitalism, and the bottom line, numbers and dollars and deals, and now it's time for spirit and business to become one again. And so Roger created the system wealth dynamics to take the laws of spirit and creation and bring it into the business world. And then when we gain that self-awareness, who I am, then we start to get into flow. And it was so much fun. And we're going to go over today, guys. It's 12 o'clock. So I got another 10, 20 minutes. If you need to leave, go ahead and leave and you can watch the recording. And I definitely honor all your time here today, because this is profound information for me and Knolly. And we're at a turning point in real estate where things have to change. We need to get out of the hustle. We need to get out of the grind and get into flow. And fortunately, Roger already created the system and the language for us. And Knolly and I are just bringing it into real estate. And when I found this system, I was doing too many things at once. I was trying to be dynamo and blaze and steel all at the same time. And so what I did is I just leaned into my zone of genius as a blaze star. And I'll talk about what that means in a little bit. And then Knolly asked me to join his team in real estate. And I was like, okay, then. And it felt so aligned because as a steel lord, he needed someone as a blaze star and a blaze deal maker to bring balance to his human team so he could fulfill his greater plan, his greatest potential, his greatest mission in life. And so since Nali and I have joined up, so many things have come into our life, so many blessings have come into our life by understanding our zones of genius, how we match up in our team, and then how we can take our partnership in flow and touch and transform more lives. So the cool thing about wealth dynamics, when you learn your flow, you also learn how to give flow to others. And so it's not just about you getting more productive, it's also about improving the productivity of your team and helping them succeed more. And then you start becoming like a spiritual, powerfully organized machine where efforts become organized. And this system of wealth dynamics, now that I've got my presentation mode hooked up here.
Hey, Artemis.
Yeah.
So Carissa is asking, do you suggest we take the test you have to pay for in order to get the true representation of your zone, or do you feel the free test is enough? I put my 2 cents in, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, go ahead and share what you think, and then I'll share.
I just said the free test is definitely not enough. I did both. I did the free test, and I thought it was great. It's a great free test, and I think it's a good place to start. But where I had my breakthrough, just personally speaking, was from the paid test. I mean, that's just, was my personal experience.
Yeah, and there are many levels of understanding within wealth dynamics. You can take the free test and get a basic level of understanding. If you have members on your team and you start learning what these 4 zones of genius are, you can help them with more clarity and support as a team leader. I recommend a flow consultation and getting the full test because not only will the test show you who you are and where your zone of genius is and how to get into flow, a flow consultation will then take that awareness and show you the right things to do right now in your business based on where you are on the Wealth Lighthouse. And what's so cool about Roger's system and what makes this different from DISC is that one, Wealth Dynamics is based in nature. It's based on the I Ching, which is an ancient Eastern manuscript known as the Book of Changes. And Carl Jung translated this book for the first time, and the DISC profiling system was based on Carl Jung's philosophy from his book. But the person who translated the 4 seasons, the 4 elements, and the 4 personalities into DISC left out spirit. They left out God. They left out the cycles of time and the cycles of the seasons. And so where wealth dynamics comes in, where the DISC falls short, is a relationship to time, not just who you are as a business owner, but where you are in the cycles of business evolution and creation. And so this understanding of time is key for a lot of our agents to grow in their business, because it's not just about who you are, DISC, dynamo, blaze, tempo, steel. It's also about where you are in the business cycle, where you are in your evolution right now as a business owner. And that where question is where a flow consultation comes in, because I can look at where you are and give you the things to focus on in flow to get you more done in less time. And this wealth dynamic square is based on creation. This is just another way of looking at God's universe. The physical universe exists in time, and spirit or God exists outside of time. So imagine God is at the center of this image, and then as we start to express our business cycle, we're expressing through dynamo, blaze, tempo, and steel, creation, collaboration, connection, and completion. And so in the real estate business, Dynamo is creating the website, creating the lead generation tool, creating the idea. And then we go out and collaborate in the marketplace and we connect to a client, a buyer or seller. And then we, at the right time, we start to bring that client, that buyer and seller from contract to close. And closing is a big contract, steel, completion. And so this is what, who, when, and how. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. This is a cycle of creation. And as business owners, it's useful to know, well, what's our gift in this cycle of business development, business creation? If you're a dynamo genius, you have a primary dynamo strength. Now I'll back up a little bit, because wherever you are on this wealth dynamic square, there's only 8 positions, guys. That's how simple success is. There are 8 paths to success that's been around and known for over 5,000 years. And these 8 paths are one of your paths in real estate. And as you start to understand that you're one of these 8, you also have all 4 of these qualities at the same time. You carry in your business the capacity to create and connect and develop timing and completion, but you have 2 more strongly than the other 2. So wherever you are in your business development, if you're more dynamo strong, we call this an innovator. And so you love creating ideas, but you're not good at finishing things. Great at starting things, but not good at finishing things. So if you're a dynamo genius, mechanic, creator, or star, your blind spot is tempo genius. Every one of us has a strength and a weakness in our business. If you're a blaze genius, you love people. You're people smart. You love collaboration, connection, going out there, and you connect and collaborate with people. You love and get charged by being out with people. But your blind spot is the details. And so you may not understand the importance of systems and automation. On the other hand, if you're a steel genius like Knolly, sometimes you love systems and numbers and contracts more than you love people. So the blind spot may be compassion or empathy or collaboration. You don't really want to collaborate. You want to stay in your cave and just do deals all day or build funnels in Knolly's case. Mm. And so this is the beauty of knowing that, hey, if you're a dynamo creator, tempo is your blind spot. So make sure that you're taking time each week in your business cycle to complete what you started. If you're a blaze genius and you love people and you're out there generating a huge SOI, but you often have no database to show for it. And without that database and that automation, that system following up, you can blaze your whole life and make very little money until you bring in support for steel energy to create systems and automation. And if you're blaze, you don't have to create all the systems. You can actually find someone to help you, because it's not your flow, if you're a blaze genius, to be working in KV Core or ClickFunnels all day. And how many of us, we try to like force ourselves to do everything in our business because we don't have self-awareness. And some of us are doing this intuitively, but we're falling short of where we want to be in our business cycle. So learning wealth dynamics as a language in real estate, and then applying your zone of genius to your current lead generation and conversion cycles, and then making sure that you know your weaknesses at the same time, and that you're not trying to do what you're weak at. You're leaning into your flow, your zone of genius. And what Roger teaches us is that fortune follows flow. As blaze agents start blazing more and then getting help with their systems, they will build more success by leaning into their zone of genius. As steel geniuses lean into their zone of genius and get help, they get stars and deal makers to help them with their lead generation and start working more on their systems and solutions. And that was the epiphany that Knolly and I realized, is that Knolly was trying to do all these different things. And I was like, lean into your steel, Knolly, and let me blaze on the Facebook group. And I'll come in and connect and collaborate and work with our agents, because that's my zone of genius, is collaboration and connection. His was systems and solutions and automation. And so that was the shift that we made in our partnership. And you can see just from what I'm telling you today that there is a better way to do business. There is a way of understanding through self-awareness and then applying these practices in your business cycles and models, where you can start having more fun and enjoying what you're doing again. And this will lead to more deals. This will lead to more success. When I was coaching Nick, the first thing I did was a flow consultation. And Nick is a blaze star. He's a dynamo blaze genius. And so I said, Nick, you do the 2 every day, but you make sure you get out and you go pass out your success toolkit and your books, and you're working with businesses and you're out there collaborating with people, because he didn't know that he needed to be around people 5 days a week, that's what fueled his success, was people and collaboration. For Knolly doesn't need to leave the house very much. One of his problems is he doesn't leave the house to go collaborate as a steel genius. And so what I've been doing
For
with Knolly,
me, hey,
yeah,
for
go
me,
ahead.
COVID is just like business as usual. I'm like, is there
I
something
know.
going on out there or what? I
Yeah.
don't know.
And for the past 4 years, I've taken Knolly to 2 major events that transformed his business model and his business cycle. And it took a blaze genius to get him out of the house. So remember, these are blind spots that we have, but as soon as we know where our zone of genius is and where our weaknesses are, we take our attention off our weaknesses and go, if it ain't fun, hire it done, or get help, find a mentor, find a community to help us with. And then we lean into our zone of genius. And then from that state of feeling good, believing in ourselves, knowing our strengths. Remember, Knolly said, ask for what you desire and believe in yourself. It's easy to believe in yourself when you know who you are. But if you don't know who you are and how you flow, if you don't know the value you give the marketplace and you're trying to do everything in your business, you will burn out and you will not get to where you want to go. Fortune follows flow. So for those of you who want to get more in depth into this work, schedule a flow consultation with me at artemisprime.com, or you can go to our units. Unit number 4 teaches you your zone of genius. And some of you may need a mentor or coach to help you get further in your flow. And so you can work with me one-on-one. And there's going to be a lot more about this in the future. This is just something that Knolly and I are really excited to share with the real estate world. And so thank you all for just connecting and like taking in the big picture, and we'll bring more of this information later.
All right. So, and thank you, Artemis. And a couple people were asking like, how do we get the flow consultation? What's the price? All this. So Artemis got so excited about this that he actually became a flow consultant. He went through the certification, became a flow consultant. So he helps people with that. And I think it's brilliant. It's beautiful. So a couple of last announcements. Those of you in Mentorship Masters, we've got a meeting in top of the hour. So in 45 minutes, be in the room. We're going to have our Zoom call. And interestingly, Artemis, I'm going to be teaching DISC. I know it's outdated, but I'll be doing a DISC training and walking you guys through your DISC profile and how. See, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Whatever your profile is, that's how you need to show up into your business. Okay. And you're going to start saying no to a lot of stuff. And when you lead generate, you have to lead generate around your personality profile. You have to. All right. So I see some chats. You guys are blowing it up. Love you guys. Thank you so much. We went over. Thanks for hanging out with us. Arrivederci.
Yeah. And keep this conversation going on the Facebook group too, and the comment stream. I'm there every day working with you guys. Remember also, Mindset Mondays is Monday around 11:30, and then here we are here on Thursdays. So you get 2 trainings for free every week in the Knolly Success Coaching Group. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Adios.
Adios.